This is Lucky SmoothStone, KCMJ 93.9 FM, and I'm so excited to be with you this evening. This is my first official night, first official broadcast, and I'm really excited and happy to be with you. And on my first show, I have really exciting guests. It's going to get a little confusing when I begin to explain to you. Wonderful friend of mine who I've known for 37 years, who is my ex-wife, who is now in my life again. And it's an interesting story, and this is why she's on the show with me tonight. And I think this is an awesome, I should say, this is going to make history. Well, it is, because it's been 37 years since I met you.
Yes.
37 years, and we've been around the track.
Yes,
We've been around the track. It's been some good, ladies and gentlemen, and it's been some bad, okay? The track you hear in the background is called My Life is a Rhythm, and our lives have been a rhythm. But it's been musical, it's been beautiful, it's been wonderful, it's been interesting. But I think that we've experienced many things that a lot of other people have experienced, and we've gone through. We've learned a lot, we've grown, we've overcome, and miracles have happened. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, they have.
In our relationship. Well, you've been a miracle for me. From day one, from the day I met you, you were a miracle in my life. I really believed when I first met you spiritually. And ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear, because the songs we're going to share with you are songs that Kalina and I have shared for over 37 years.
Yes.
I've written songs about her. I've written a lifetime of songs about her. Our ups and downs and arounds. She's been a trooper and one of my biggest fans. To help me to expose my music to the world. When I met her, my music was written on time cards, napkins, anything I could write lyrics on. I was around 19 years old.
Yes.
You were 18, yes?
Yes, just turning 19.
Just turning 19. And we were just starry-eyed and fortunate enough to meet one another at, I guess, a very pivotal and brand new stage in both of our lives.
Certainly.
But I introduced that music to you. The lyrics, really, because there were no total melodies. I don't think I had. Some I had, I think, at the time, right?
You did.
I had some, but I showed you the lyrics, and that's what really got your attention.
Yeah, and then it was the library in Santa Ana, the grand piano.
But I hadn't introduced that to you, right? I mean, when I was, incidentally, we met at hospital.
Mercy Junior.
In California, Santa Ana.
Santa.
You were in nursing. She was in nursing, pediatrics,
In obstetrics. Yes.
The first thing we ever talked about was children.
How many do you want?
How many did you say at the time?
6.
You said 6. I said I wanted 6. Oh, that's what made us even right then click. Oh, sorry about them banging the mic. That's what made us really click, because I said 6 and I couldn't believe you said 6 like that. Especially after all the other things that Harry vibed with you about. But you said 6 and I was like, wow. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, that was 37 years ago, and yes, we ended up with 5 children. Long story, we do have 6. We'll talk about the 6th one later.
And we lost our first one too in this My Life is a Rhythm. Remember?
That's a confusing story, though. We have to talk about that one of these times, because I talked to that doctor, and you and him have conflicting stories. But anyway, we won't go into that one yet. But that was 37 years ago.
Cut.
We do have 5, but I have a 6th one, and that's what makes our story extraordinary. Because I say ex-wife because we were married 25 years. We did get a divorce.
26.
26 years, and we did get a divorce. And we're back together again. So things have happened in that time. No, there was no my 6th child did not come from infidelity. I had gotten married again after Kalina and I had gotten divorced, which is an interesting story in itself because it's our conflicts with our spirituality and what we were taught. Sometimes we think we're doing the right thing and we're still not doing the right thing. And we're trying to go by spiritual laws and things like that that really don't apply to our lives. And we end up still getting into conflicts that we can't handle. But anyway, I'm going to take a break here. This is Lucky SmoothStone with my wonderful, wonderful, and beautiful guest, Kalina. Kalina Gibbs. And she never gave up that name, which is honorable, and I really appreciate that. That was prophetic. You were just holding out. We'll be right back at you.
Peace and grace.
This is Lucky SmoothStone. My life.
This world was made for us all. We got to learn to share. Ooh, it's more than black or white, straight or curly hair. Oh, it doesn't matter what side of the world you live. Fresh is the light of the sun, and to all God freely gives. Oh, come together, sisters and brothers. We got to learn how to love one another. Come together, together as one. The only way we can overcome. Living in fear and disaster, driving our destiny faster. There is no way from our hearts to God's embrace. Come together, sisters and brothers. We got to learn how to love one another. Come together, together as one. The only way we can overcome. Come together, sisters and brothers. We got to learn how to love one another. Come together, together as one. The only way we can overcome.
Lucky SmoothStone back at you, KCMJ 93.9. And like I said before we took a little break, I'm here with my ex-wife of 26 years. She had to correct me on that always happens, doesn't it? They remember dates, don't you guys?
Absolutely.
But of 26 years, and a lot has happened in our lives since that first day. Incidentally, I just kind of let you know that Kalina is special on this show with me because she began with me over 37 years ago, not over, but 37 years ago, when I was just beginning to write music and had aspirations of Hollywood. And we were talking about how when we first met, I was introducing lyrics to her that I had written. I was very intrigued by her. Beautiful woman. I mean, I was just like smitten. And it was dreamy like that. Like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then when I began to talk to her, she was so polite and so wonderful. It was unbelievable. It was just like if I had carved out someone. And I'm 19 years old, really, But I already had a vision of what I wanted. And being together right now kind of lets you know that I wasn't wrong. But anyway, the story was I was introducing lyrics to Kalina. And why don't you share what you did with those lyrics for me?
Well, you brought them to me in a box, and they were scraps of everything. Napkins, placemats, time cards from Mercy General Hospital. Oh my gosh, you had even ripped off some paper from the physician's exam table. That was in there too, with a marker pen. But anyway.
I didn't remember that one. Wow. When she says ripped off, she means literally I tore it off of an exam table to write lyrics.
It was just the real flimsy paper. But anyway, it was like a hook. But anyway, I put it all together, typed out all his lyrics, and then put them in a real pretty leather binder with a brass plaque.
With my name on it. When she gave me back my music, I just couldn't believe it. Now, this is something you have to remember. This is someone who valued me and valued what I did, kind of beyond how I had valued it. So when she gave it back to me, instead of scraps of paper, it was in a book, binder. It was in plastic sheets with my name on it in a brass plate. So I gave it to her, and she gave it back to me in such a valuable, presentation. I was really blown away. So yes, I was smitten by you for sure. At that moment, we shared something. It was my music. It was the first thing that we both completely shared without condition.
Absolutely.
What did you say? And that's
in spiritual realm, God.
Well, yeah, God. Well, that is something that. But you know, funny, when we met, our spirituality met on a mutual level, because you were studying one way of spirituality of life, and I was studying another. But we didn't have to talk about that. Like, our spirits met and communicated for us.
Yeah, right when we first met.
Yeah.
Right when he was a security guard.
Shh.
And I said, you're going to protect me? He told me you had a black belt. But anyway, just looking at you.
Don't mess around now.
Yeah, okay. Come on now. When we looked eye to eye, there was a glow about you. And you had a brown uniform on.
See, I don't even remember that.
Oh, yeah. I had the white nursing uniform.
Well, I remember
the white
what you had,
hose,
of course. White stockings.
Yes.
Oh, I remember the stockings. Anyway, go ahead.
But anyway, yeah, I was smitten too, because I knew that there was a purpose and a reason why I met you.
And that's the music. The music you're hearing in the background, like this song is called When God Speaks. And God was speaking then, because like we say, this is 37 years ago that we're talking about, you know, and God was speaking to us. And at those young ages, we heard it. We heard the God in both of us. And it told us things that we live today. Now, but it was prophetic because we knew that without a shadow of a doubt then.
Yes.
Even with all the changes we've been through. And we might mention some of those things because they're heavy things that we've gotten over, and we pray and hope that you would get over them. Because here's one thing, this song says when God speaks. But the first thing, the song before that was called Walk in the Spirit, which, I'll share again so you can hear the songs. But the first thing you have to do is walk in the Spirit first, so you can even hear the voice of God speaking. And we were both listening to our spiritual selves.
Absolutely.
Because you were a very dreamy person too, even at the time. Even though you had you had gotten with the cognitive side of life, you were very educated. That was your lifestyle. You know, totally different. I was from the Ghetto, and you was from that, across the tracks over there. Rose Avenue is where
that's a song.
Is where I met you, on Rose Avenue. I wrote a song called Rose Avenue after I met her. Everything was a song. I was just writing songs about you. But I do want to say it's very significant because we went on a mission to Hollywood, Warner Brothers, Virgin Records, many record companies. We met many record
Sony.
So many, London, we met many record execs, and Kalina helped me on that mission from first scrap paper writing to sitting in front of executives at Warner Brothers talking about my music.
Ooh, back in the day.
Yes, but it was phenomenal because we had a vision. I had a vision, and you trusted and believed in me and my music. From the first time.
You were bold enough, though, because you could get in, if they didn't open the front door, you could get in the back door or the window or something.
we, ladies and gents, we got in many executives' doors, but they loved my music. We just had a conflict with Hollywood and the lifestyles and the people, and I had to make a decision one day that Hollywood just wasn't the place for me or my music. All respect due to those who are in Hollywood and doing Hollywood thing. It didn't coincide with my lifestyle. And we had conflicts in our marriage because of my desires and the things I wanted. Hollywood, I wanted to be a star.
Yeah.
And well, we'll share songs with you that explain those things about when those decisions were made to turn away from Hollywood. Like No Me Without You is about our family.
Ooh. Yeah.
You know, well, we'll get into that story, but I did want to make sure I emphasize that our music has traveled over the world. Many people have heard my music, and it's from a hard, long struggle of a man and a woman believing in something and trusting in each other and really loving and trusting in God. We've gone through the same things that many of you have gone through. You know, there's infidelity issues. I'll say on my part, just so that you don't think that had anything to do with Kalena. On my part, a lot of different things. I mean, on both parts, you know, I'm not one evil, you know. We both have had issues.
Proclivities.
That have conflicted, but those all have been physical issues. Oh, and spiritual issues. But when I say physical, I mean that they have all been of the devil. They haven't been of our, and that's attached to the flesh. But our spiritual connection and the spiritual lives that we shared with each other was all pure, all the time. It didn't have the conflicts of the flesh. We didn't meet on a physical basis. You know.
You were with somebody.
Was I with somebody?
You. Marilyn.
Well, I wasn't fresh with you or anything. I was with respect. That's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
We didn't meet on the basis of I was lusting after you or hoo hey girl.
I was with somebody else too.
You are too. That's what I mean.
Right.
What was happening in our physical lives didn't matter. We had met on this spiritual. It's strange. I mean, I won't say that it's strange, but it's not natural. You know, it is very spiritual. And we didn't question those things. We just kind of went with the flow. And we experienced, until this day, we've experienced a phenomenal spiritual life.
Absolutely.
We've touched many children's lives, many adults' lives. You and I, our life together in the music and in the arts have moved across this country. And has filled many lives. So, and I'm really talking about this because the fact that this Kalena, you know, she believed in me. And put her efforts in her mind to a dream, you know. And we went to Hollywood to do this, and then it didn't require Hollywood for us to continue and be able to share our music and our love and our life and experiences with you, because that's really what it's meant for. And I have this philosophy that I believe in, and that is the fruit trees that bear fruit for us. You can go to them and pick the fruit. I've never seen a fruit tree eat its own fruit. You know, and so I believe that we bear fruit for one another, and I believe in our union. That's what we've done for each other. We've bared. Well, yeah, we have 5 children, so yeah, we must. But I mean, we've bared fruit for other people, and we've been unselfish. You know, we've been through some poverty, ladies and gentlemen. We used to live in a shack. You wouldn't believe I have pictures of it.
Choice.
We'll show it online. We have pictures online. Okay. You'd have to dig for them, but I'll tell you where they are. You can go to our website, and there are pictures of a shack we used to live in. We chose to live there because it was either being controlled or accept poverty, and we accepted poverty, and we knew that we could live off of the love. Trust me, it was really horrible, and we'll share those pictures with you.
Many stories.
So any of you that are homeless or you have been down on your absolute last, and as a husband and wife, yeah, I know you can pressure each other and you can really go through some serious changes, but the best way to get through it, baby, is to love each other and to believe in one another through the thick and thin. And I really appreciate you for believing in me, and you still do. You've been my biggest fan. You've played my music until I was sick of it.
Oh, I've lived by it, for real. Even through labor and delivery.
I know you have. Well, this song in the back, it says, "There's no me without you, no sun without rain, no joy without pain. There is no old without new, and in love, there's no me without you. I made that decision about my music. It was Hollywood or it was my family. So for many reasons, I made a decision that there wasn't not going to be any me without you. We were going to be together and be one. And thank God, even through divorce and married again, we still won. We still won. And I appreciate you, for everything that you've accepted.
Higher calling.
Lucky SmoothStone. KCMJ. This
That
is
was
real
Sharon
interesting.
in the back.
on the record, yeah, we'll have to. We'll play some of these songs for you. I just thought that this conversation would help you to know that the impossible is possible. And I know you're wondering, well, if they're so lovey-dovey on the radio right now, then they seem like they're, in a dream world again. Well, we are. But things did happen in our relationship. I made choices and things, and here's what happens that we've learned in a relationship: that you can make choices in your relationship that can destroy an individual without even realizing it, especially when you're young. And we got married. Well, I was young.
Oh, I was younger than you.
I don't mean that. You were more mature about family life, things like that. I wanted a record deal. I wanted to be a star. I loved you dearly, greatly, all of those things. But my priorities still at that time were I wanted to be a star. The thing that you and I started out on, you were with me. You feel what I mean? All the way, 100%. But then what? We had children, right? Exactly. And you became a mommy. And even though you loved me and believed in me, right? That's when we kind of parted ways. That I realized now. I didn't know that then because I had a focus. You feel me? But that's when
I had a drive, and I did things, late in the midnight hour to help, type lyrics, whatever, you needed me to do on the administrative.
That's what I know. But I mean me subconsciously begin to part ways because family. And you naturally, as a woman, you're going to be psychologically, spiritually, physically, everything about family. Even though I am and was about family, not really at that time. 25, 26, career. We was flying Hollywood and we had all the connections. We were doing our thing. So no, you were more mature at that point about that because you focused on family. I dibble-dabble, made sure some money, made sure I could scrap it up and do what I could do, but my focus was still Hollywood until I really made a conscious decision that this is not gonna work. If something's gonna have to go, and things did go, things did go, and I remember the day the moment that you flexed on getting a divorce. I don't think you totally knew even what that was about. I do believe that you were obeying God.
Absolutely.
The way you translated it to me, though, I couldn't comprehend. And it took me a long time. And I believe, though, I wasn't supposed to comprehend right then. I believe there took some learning. Well, ass whipping. Excuse expression there, beep beep. But I had to have some experience. And I'm sharing this with the men because I can only share with you, what my imperfections were to contribute to, our separation, So if that helps anyone or helps any man that really loves his family and really loves the matrimony, loves that union, but you're having some problems. One of our biggest problems, men, is maturing. Growing up, accepting certain responsibilities. It has nothing to do with our love and dedication to our women and our family. There's a lot of growing up, especially the so-called black man. I'm going to be right back at you, though. I got to take a break here. Lucky SmoothStone, KCMJ 93.9
FM.
I'll check you out.
Colorado Springs. Hey.
Well, I just love it. We're back at you. Boys to Men, you said, huh? Well, yeah. When I left off, I was discussing how men have to mature. And I'm talking about men who really want to be men who want to be responsible, and men who are good men. But what examples have we had? And like I said, so-called black men, that's another subject. We are not B-L-A-C-K, black men. Black has no nation, so we're not black. But anyway.
That's not your identity.
It's not our identity. But I want to get into that right now. I want to send a focus of maturity. Maturity comes from your father. You know, someone has to teach you, and you have to want to learn. Well, who teaches you want to learn but your mother and your father? Many of us did not have fathers. That's not an excuse. That's a reason. You know, it's an equation. You add 1 + 1, you're going to get 2. Well, you add a father, you know, to a son, and you're going to get two elements there, you know. A father needs that. I mean, a father needs that too, just as much as a son needs that relationship, you know, that interaction. When you don't have that, and you don't have the example of what that is, it's not saying that you can't grow up with like a good man with your mama, but you are going to miss some qualities. I'm sorry.
Man Nation needs repairing.
Men Nation?
Man Nation. Like Woman Nation.
Interesting. Yeah, and that doesn't matter. I think too. I only know the conditions for what they call black or white or Hispanic or whatever men need repair, because I know in the country that where we live, there's not a lot of how would I say? There's not a lot of social developmental things for men. Or if there are, we're not getting it. We're not getting it in school, or we're not getting it at home, because our fathers got the same thing. Unless we had a good father who was in our lives and teaching us. Most of us, I say, in our communities, I know a lot of us didn't get that.
Not only the races that you mentioned too, but don't forget our red brothers and sisters. Lowest disparity level in all levels of social health.
But look at our manhood. Anything. What I'm saying is, it starts from the leadership or in the family. And if a man is not there to lead and guide his son, we're gonna have some problems. So I know, pointing it at me, I had some problems.
Right.
You know, I'm a decent individual. I try to treat people right. You know, I'm honest and fair. But there are some things that happened and I was missing because of not being raised by. Now, I give all credit due to my uncles. You know, to my grandfather who raised me, but it's still different. Yes, Tommy Rice. But it's still different than your own father, because I experienced some things I shouldn't have experienced because I didn't have my father there. Those things had effects on me very deeply.
Absolutely.
So in growing and then trying to have all of a sudden a family without planning, preparing, you know, we're in the midst of shopping to Hollywood, and all of a sudden you and I are in a really bonding and matrimonial relationship, when we started off really as great friends, pursuing something. But suddenly we were launched into a responsible position. And that was when your dad put you out. Her dad kicked her out.
Absolutely.
That's how young we were.
Wow.
Well, Kalina was helping me. She was helping me go to Hollywood. She was helping me shop deals.
Still getting straight A's though.
Making contracts. We were doing it all, but her parents did not agree with that pursuit. And they gave her some ultimatums. You know, you're going to have to cut this, or you're going to have to get out. And one day, I remember getting a phone call. She was crying and like, what's going on? Like, my dad's putting me out. I'm like, what? You can't. What? Yeah, my dad. Oh Lord, where are you going to go? And then I called a lady that we worked with at the hospital.
The telephone operator.
I remember her telling me one day that her son was moving. And I remember she had an empty room, and that just came to mind when you was telling me your dad put you out. So I called her, and she said, sure, she can come move in here. And little did I know it was the end of my life in that respect, or in that arena I was running in. That was the end of it. I didn't know it. But that was the end of that. But anyway, you moved in. I didn't know I was gonna move in. That's the part that switched up. 'Cause, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I was free and easy. I was like, young guy pursuing Hollywood. We were over in there, and all of a sudden, my girl gets kicked out. So I was like, oh man, So we stopped, and I remember, what did we do? We took your truck, huh? You came to get me in your truck, right?
Yeah.
And we went back to your house and moved everything into Karen Stubbs' room. And then came the moment of leaving. Oh no, your dog. You was in love with that dog, Bear. And you had to get rid of the dog.
Heartbroken.
It was hard, and I was feeling you, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. What's happening to us here? And then then you had to get rid of the dog, and then I had to go home. Well, I was trying to go home, and I remember me getting ready to leave. And then you had these great big puppy dog eyes. Lord have mercy, like, don't leave me. You didn't say it, but it was crazy. I think you did say it. I think you did say that, yeah, you did say something, and I was like, but I gotta go home, But that was the last of that one. We've been together, right, since then.
Wow.
I never moved out. I mean, I moved in from that moment.
I remember you wrote a song, One a Day. No, it was more than one a day. And at the time I had a typewriter. And I borrowed my mom's typewriter.
I remember that. That's where that catalog came from.
Yeah.
And that catalog got me my record deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I have to tell you about that story, ladies and gentlemen. Well, look, one day I had learned to play the game with the secretaries on the phone to get to where I wanted to get inside record companies. But I remember one day, Clayton and I had done a catalog of my music. This was years after we had met each other. We had gotten into this activity of developing the music. But we had a catalog of music. At that time, it was cassettes. And we had 2 boxes, I think, full of like 30 cassettes a box. All these songs. And we went straight to Burbank.
I hand calligraphied those.
Burbank. I mean, it was Warner Boulevard in Burbank.
Yes.
The Warner Brothers. We got into the lobby, huge lobby, and I got on the phone and I called the secretary downstairs. What was her name? Oh gosh. In fact, she was Prince's a girl Jill.
Yeah.
Jill was her daughter that worked with Prince.
Blonde girl, Purple Rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was her mom. Mm-hmm. But anyway, she was working for Benny Medina at the time.
Right.
Chief executive of Warner Brothers A&R, Black A&R. And I remember I got her on the phone. I was like, look, I got this music for Benny. You know what I mean? But I got it in the lobby, so I'm trying to drop it off. And she remember getting kind of confused on the phone. What? Music for Benny? I was like, yeah, look, I'm up here. And I just hung the phone up. And she came up the stairs. And what? And what are you saying? I remember I had my Walkman. It was Walkmans then, ladies. I know I'm telling on myself here. It was Walkmans. I had it in my hand with some headphones. And I put my headphones on her ears. Like I handed them to her. Look, listen to this. And what? It was like, so we're going to do a little A&R in the lobby here. And I was like, look, just listen. She put the headphones on, and she was really, the expression on her face, and she took the headphones off. And this is you? I was like, yes. Is anything else in this box sound like this? I was like, yes, ma'am. She took the whole box downstairs to Benny Medina.
Oh, I want to make a little insertion of a note there.
Go ahead.
I lingered behind. You were with Pee Wee. I lingered behind because I was having morning sickness and had to go throw up.
You never told me that. What?
Yeah. I
didn't know what happened to you, as a matter of fact, at that time.
Yeah, because I got nauseated and I didn't you know, it was like, wow.
Well, I was in dream world, dreamland at the time. These jokers are taking me downstairs.
And Benny Medina is no joke because
I know.
he was the manager of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. In fact, he was the executive producer of that and Jennifer Lopez manager.
I know. I met him at the time. He was bringing Tevin Campbell in and people like that.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Albie Shore was running.
Eddie Singleton he works for Disney now, but Eddie Singleton, he works for Disney.
Oh,
I looked him up just to
Okay.
see where he was. He was over in the Bahamas or somewhere, and doo, you know. But anyway, he was working for Benny Medina at the time, and then. But it was amazing that we got in there and they really started to evaluate our music.
yeah. And Eddie Singleton's mom, she was
Renoma. She was the first wife of Barry Gordy.
Yeah.
They started the label.
Yep.
And they started label before. And interesting people that we've met. And
Absolutely.
then it got crazy for us. Because I'm not bad mouthing you, family. I love y'all. I love you dearly. But y'all wasn't feeling us at the time. Our families wasn't feeling us. Her parents wasn't feeling us. They kicked us to the curb. Told us, got to get out and get a job.
Reality.
But we were over in there, and I remember, like you said, the morning sickness. Interesting that you should say that, because that goes along with it, because that's when they were like, y'all got to get out. Everybody was telling us to get out, and we were right
Right there.
Oh, we were there, and right at that time we had to pack up and move.
Well, I gave the truck back.
You gave the truck back.
My brand new. My
I
dad
told
had
you
co-signed for
me
that.
and my big mouth. I was like being a man. Look, if he don't feel you, or like he's hassling you, get that truck back. And you gave it back, boy. And did we struggle?
And then that's when we walked 8.5 miles into St. Anna, get a plate of food with family. And then after that, that's
That's when we start walking like miles to the
miles
store.
and miles.
The struggle.
Tuna fish for days.
My
Oatmeal.
My dreams was out the window. I was like, oh my God. But you know, we fought.
We made a
hard.
great studio, though. That was a good suggestion. We made lots of songs at that time.
Yeah, we built the studio in the closet. I took the doors off the closet, expanded them out into the room, and we made a studio in the closet, in the bedroom. And we continued to build and develop and shop.
And those cassettes produced at that time.
We was trying to go sell them so we could eat. Remember that?
Walked 20 miles.
And you was chicken. You couldn't do it.
No, I went down there. I was complaining about you went to you went and put strings on guitars at Howard Judkins' music store, and I walked 20 miles and got $20.
Oh, and I worked for him that day, and I made more.
And you made more. That was good.
Well, that was our struggles, lady. Hollywood they kicked us to the curb, and I remember I called a friend of mine. Well, he happened to call me from back east, Ralph. And he was interested in the music I was doing. He knew about the Hollywood thing and everything, and he wanted to help. And he had a house that was taken over from his uncle. And I remember he offered it. It was just timing was perfect. So we had a little money, put it together, and we packed ourselves up and we moved to Wilmington, Delaware.
Wow.
We're a whole 3,000 miles away. Where a whole new life for us began.
Wow.
It was my hometown. I mean, I was originally from there. I moved out of Wilmington, Delaware when I was 17. Went to the military and then came to California. And then after that, about 6 months, 7 months, I met you, or maybe a year. No, 18, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, about the next year and a half, I met you. Wow. And then, anyway, back to Delaware, and wow, a whole life began. A whole new. But it was disappointing because of that Warner Brothers break, you know. But, ladies and gentlemen, just think. At that time was when Michael Jackson was just picking up real strong. Prince had just come through. And I'm about the same age as those guys. So when I was coming through Warner Brothers, I would have been experiencing the same things that these guys have experienced today. Just think, we don't have Michael, we don't have Prince. My top talents are, well, evidently extraordinary. Hollywood signed me for them. I was along the same lines. Publishing, I have gigantic publishing. But just think, if I had still been in that Hollywood mix today, makes you wonder, doesn't it? Lucky SmoothStone, KCMJ. This is the first part of Lucky SmoothStone's My Life, and I'm sharing it right now, and we're sharing some moments with you of our relationship, Kalena's and my relationship, and we've gone through it, and we're together, and we've experienced some things where we really shouldn't. Well, most people aren't together and haven't managed to be able to get back together like we have. This song in the back, it says, "Don't take your love for granted."
Wow.
It was very prophetic. This song I was writing while we were getting a divorce. But I was learning. I was picking up things. I was becoming a man, and I was holding on for dear life. And so I wrote this song even though we was going through the divorce, and we did go through it. But this song is still the spiritual walk that she and I were taking, because no matter what we were going through physically, the music was still singing the prophecy. The music was still singing our vision. Yeah, so that's why it's wonderful having you on the show with me. We're gonna share some deep and other things with you, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm kind of overwhelmed because my mind is like floating on. We started this out from nothing, and today we're on the radio, sharing our music with you. That's only poquito of the miracles that have happened with our relationship and our life. But thank you for joining me on our show. I really appreciate you.
I'm appreciating you too. You really struggled as a man, and Man Nation needs to be built up. But my brother, you've come a long way.
We have come a long way. Well, let's go. Let's that's all right. Let's go for. It got choked up. That's what that means. Well, let's go further. Let's share our love, our life, our past, and our future with the Colorado audience, which is a community audience, and we love you. We got that Colorado love.
Absolutely.
And this is Lucky SmoothStone, KCMJ 93.9, Colorado love.
FM.
Loudest words, something I've always heard. I'm sorry, how I made you feel. Yes, I am. So long we've been friends. We can start again. I believe it's God's will. The things that we have walked through. Still there are things that I just never knew. But we can never get too old to learn. My world has turned. Now I'm learning.
Don't take your love for granted. This is Lucky SmoothStone on KCMJ 93.9
FM.
My girl, look, you thought we were going. No, my love had to remind me that we want to share some music with you. And we're just going to play a series of songs for you to take the show out, so that you can hear our love, our life, and our experiences. And one of the first songs that we're going to play for you is one of the first songs, well, is the first song that I wrote in the relationship with Kalena. When I was talking to her about my music one day, she was house sitting for some professors, and they owned a piano. And while we were talking about the music and the lyrics and things that I had written, I remember you asking me, can you write me a song? And you had already expressed, you mentioned earlier, well, I was dating someone, and you were too. Yes, right, we were. And you had shared a story with me about your relationship with him, and that you had discovered that he was married, and you were going through some changes about it because you had already committed yourself, and you were dealing with that at the time. And I remember hearing your story. So since I was so passionate about you, I wanted to be this knight in shining armor, you know, make you feel better or do something. But
For real.
and I'm glad that we were friends. Like, you know, I'm glad that there was no intimacy between us or anything. We were just like buddies, just talking. You know, I'm talking about my music and my life, and you're telling me what kind of life you were living, like with your parents and the situation you was going through. Anyway, you were telling me that about him. And I remember me saying, okay, get a paper and pencil. And you went and got a paper and pencil. And I sat down at the piano. And I wrote Wanting You.
Many years ago. But that song took everything off.
It did. It got me.
set
In,
everything in
that
motion.
song got me a record deal. It got me in many doors. In fact, that song started my professional career because Mickey... After I wrote that Uncle Mickey was folks. Yeah, well, let me incident. I don't want. I have to honor my uncle Wilson K. Smith. You can go Google it. Wilson K. Smith Walkway. He achieved phenomenal. I mean, a phenomenal achievement.
Absolutely.
He established a monument on the corner of 18th Street in Wilmington, Delaware. That it recognizes all the fallen soldiers that. Were recognized Congressional Medal of Honor recipients, and he built, designed a monument that was replicated for him by Bush and he was our senator at the time, Biden. He's now vice president in Wilmington, Delaware. That at the time he was our senator, and he petitioned to Bush, and they endorsed Uncle Mickey to establish this monument, which is in the Pentagon now, on the corner of 18th Street in Wilmington, Delaware, a replica. And then he made medals, and I mean, it's the most amazing thing. And this, we're not talking about a rich man, but Mickey could do anything. I remember he hired Ray Charles to play at the Crescendo in Anaheim. And my mom and them opened up for it. I mean, my mom and Tommy, Ronnie, they opened up. My family opened up for. I wasn't there at the time. I was in the military. They opened up for Ray Charles, and Mickey's spot.
Uncle Mickey
was
could do
amazing.
anything. He's responsible for even the recording of Wanting You in Marvin Gaye's studio.
Because he got you to invest. Well, he got me to get you to invest.
Yeah, he just encouraged you. Ask her.
I respected you so much, I didn't want to ask you for the money. You know what I mean? It was like, I just felt strange. Like, but he was thinking on business. He said, if she believes in you, if she loves your music, man, she'll invest. So I remember saying, ask her, just ask her. I was like, oh, man. And then, but you did it. Shocked the pants off of me. I was like, wow.
Well, I have been saving for a while. You know, I was in the American Groove.
That's why your dad kicked you out, too.
Oh.
Think of it. That's right.
I was the executive producer for your project.
Oh, you sure?
So, and when he asked me where was the money.
Alright, yep. You used to have to say, oh, Lord.
I was on a plane.
Lord.
Pre-med, pre-sports medicine.
Well, I remember Mickey coming in the room, which started that. And that's why he asked you, because I was in the rec room at the house playing Wanting You and singing it. And he was in the background somewhere. I didn't know, and he was hearing it. And then he walked out to the archway, and he was just standing there. And when I finished, he was like, Lucky, you wrote that song? I was like, yeah, that's my song. Man, he said, "Oh no, we gotta go to the studio, Lucky. We gotta get some money. We gotta go to the studio. Lucky, that's a hit." He said, "That is a hit." So we ended up.
He talked to Marvin's sister.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well,
Yeah.
oh, right, the Marvin Gaye thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not only Ray Charles. Well, we have to get into. I'm gonna have to play this song to you. We have to come back probably the next show, part 2, and we're going to share this other story with you on the Marvin Gaye situation and where the song went. And I played the song from Marvin Gaye's father live in their home that Marvin Gaye got killed in. But anyway, these are interesting stories, and they're all true. And we'll be back. You know, memories, things are just coming up with me now.
That's
Lucky
great.
SmoothStone. This is Wanting You on KCMJ 93.9 FM. This is Lucky SmoothStone on KCMJ 93.9
FM.
Always got to do that little FM tag there. Wanting You, a very special song that we produced at the beginning of our relationship. We had a great pleasure to my uncle Wilson Smith. We called him Uncle Mickey. Uncle Mickey arranged for us to meet with Marvin Gaye's family. I remember one day we went to Los Angeles, Gramercy Places. I think that's where his house was, and I remember going in there, and it's the strangest thing. You hear these rumors about Marvin Gaye's father, and the relationship and how weird it was, and we experienced it firsthand. When we went in, my uncle was trying to convince Jean, that was her name, Jean Houston, right?
Marvin's
sister. And she's very intimidated by her father. My uncle was trying to get permission to play this antique grand piano Marvin had in, I'll say Marvin Gaye out of respect, that he had in his rec room, like sitting room. And so he talked, my uncle talked her into going upstairs and asking her father, could I play this song, Wanting You? And so she was really intimidated, like she was scared. This is a grown woman. So she finally went upstairs and talked to him. And he crept down the steps real quietly, like, and he came in the room and looked at us real strange, like, and he said, so you want to play my piano? I said, yes, sir, I want to show you this song. My uncle wants me to show you this song that I wrote called Wanting You. So he stood in the archway and he just kind of motioned for me to proceed. And it was the strangest thing, man. It was this picture of Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder, like, right behind me. I mean, it was just so surreal. So I calmed myself and I started playing the song. And in the middle of it, and I was singing, and I saw the expression on Jean's eyes. And I turned and looked at her father. His eyes was full of tears. I mean, he was like crying, like it was unbelievable. I couldn't even believe it. I mean, motion me. He's like, my son does that, as if I didn't know Marvin Gaye, And I was like, yes, sir, I know. He said, well, he said, anytime you want, you can come play that piano. And he just turned around and walked back up the steps. It was the strangest, but it was an awesome experience. So we just wanted to share that a little bit with you in our musical journey, in our love life. And I'm really glad to have Kalani here to verify these stories. And again, I really want to say I appreciate you for being on the show tonight, to be candid and open, and be a little transparent. I believe that our lifestyle, what we've been through, is definitely going to be a blessing to many. And we're going to have you back again. We want to continue this. It's a long story, a lot of details, a lot of things to cover.
It's a 37-year-old story.
Before we go, is there anything that you want to share, Kalani?
And I'm just really glad to, excuse me, I've had a cold. Just really glad to share with you the music and to live by it. Yeah.
It's been a wonderful pleasure. Well, we're signing off. This is Lucky SmoothStone. It's my life. And I'm going to title this one Me and My Ex-Wife. We want you to share this. Bless you and good night. Lucky SmoothStone signing off. KCMJ 93.9
Together. FM.
FM.
Colorado Springs.